Hi everyone, today we will be discussing the internal and external environment. In business, it is very important to understand both factors inside and outside an organization because these factors can greatly affect the success or failure of a company. Some factors can be controlled by the business while others cannot. By understanding the internal and external environment, companies can make better decisions, solve problems effectively, and identify opportunities for growth. This topic is also important because it helps businesses stay competitive and adapt to changes in the market. So let's first understand what internal and external environments are. The internal environment refers to the factors that exist within the organization. These are the things that the company has direct control over, such as its employees, management, resources, company culture, and operations. On the other hand, the external environment consists of factors outside the organization. This includes the competitors, economic conditions, government policies, technology, and social trends. Unlike the internal factors, businesses usually have little or no control over these external influences. For a business to succeed, it must maximize its internal strengths while being aware of the external opportunities and threats. In simple terms, a company should improve what it can control and prepare for what it cannot control. Now let's focus on the internal factors, specifically strengths and weaknesses. First, strengths are the positive qualities or the advantages of a company. These are the things that help a business perform better than its competitors. Examples include skilled employees, strong brand reputation, quality products, or advanced technology. When identifying strengths, a company can ask questions such as, what is it that you do well? What benefits do you have over your competitors? And what makes you stand out from the competitors? On the other hand, weaknesses are areas that needs improvement. These are factors that may prevent a company from reaching its goals. Examples include poor customer service, outdated equipment, lack of funds, or inefficient processes. Next are the external factors. These are influences that come from outside the organization and may affect its performance. Some examples include competition, social changes, legal changes, technological changes, economic environment, and political environment. For example, if a new competitor enters the market, a company may need to improve its product or services. If technology advances, companies may need to adapt to new system to remain competitive. Tsaka kahit hindi kontrolado ng negosyo ang mga external factors na ito, kailangan pa rin nilang bantayan at pag-aralan ang mga pagbabago upang makapag-adjust agad at maiwasan ang possible na problema. Let us now proceed. External factors can create both opportunities and threats for a business. Opportunities are situations that can help a company grow or improve its performance. Examples include emerging markets, new technologies, changing customer needs, or favorable government policies. Some opportunities can be predicted, while others appear unexpectedly. Businesses that plan ahead often have a better chance of taking advantage of these opportunities. Meanwhile, threats are external challenges that may negatively affect a company. Examples include economic recessions, rising competition, changing customer preferences, or stricter government regulation. One of the most commonly used tools in business analysis is the SWOT analysis. This stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This tool helps organizations evaluate both their internal and external environments. Strengths and weaknesses represent internal factors, while opportunities and threats represent the external factors. For example, a company may have a strong reputation, which is a strength, but limited funding, which is a weakness. At the same time, a growing market may be an opportunity, while increasing competition may be a threat. Sa madaling salita, ang SWOT analysis ay parang health check-up ng negosyo. It helps the company na malaman kung saan sila magaling, saan sila mahina, at anong mga pagkakataon na dapat nilang harapin. Another important tool used in analyzing industries is Porter's Five Forces model, developed by Michael Porter. This model examines five forces that influence competition within an industry. The first is competitive rivalry among existing firms, which refers to the competition between businesses already operating in the market. The second is the threat of new entrants, meaning the possibility of new competitors entering the industry. The third is the threat of substitute products or services, which refers to alternative products that customers may choose instead. The fourth is the bargaining power of buyers, which measures how much influence customers have over prices and product quality. And lastly, the bargaining power of suppliers refers to the influence suppliers have on the availability and the cost of materials. This model helps the business understand their competitive environment and develop strategies to gain an advantage over their competitors. This diagram visually shows the five forces we discussed in the previous slide. At the center is competitive rivalry, which represents the competition among existing businesses. Surrounding it are the four other forces that influence the level of competition in an industry. The threat of new entrants can increase competition because more businesses are entering the market. The threat of substitutes can reduce demand for a company's product if customers find better alternatives. The bargaining power of buyers affects pricing because customers can choose among different sellers. Meanwhile, the bargaining power of suppliers can affect production cost and product availability. By analyzing these forces, companies can better understand the challenges they face and make smarter strategic decisions. In short, the Porter's five forces helps businesses determine how attractive and competitive an industry really is.
Good day, everyone. Now, let's talk about how investors decide where to put their money. One of the best guides they use to analyze an entire industry is called the SCP paradigm. SCP stands for Structure, Conduct, and Performance. To understand it better, think of a school playground. Structure is the playground itself, how big it is, how many kids are playing, and what the rules are. In business, this means the market structure, how big the market is, who has the biggest market share, how hard it is for a new company to start up, and what customer buying habits look like. Conduct is how the kids choose to play on that playground. In business, this is how companies behave. What are their pricing strategies? How do they design their products? How much do they spend on cool ads, innovation, or even legal strategies? Performance is the final result of the game. Who won, who lost, and did everyone have a good time? For companies, this is their ultimate success or profit. So, for our main takeaway, will you help me identify which is structure, conduct, and performance? The environment changes how companies behave, which ultimately decides how successful they are. Hmm, you're right. The environment is the structure, how company behaves is the conduct, and how successful they are is the performance. If you can understand this chain reaction, you can spot great investment opportunities. Now, let's proceed on how a company manages itself once it's up and running. This brings us to a management system called the Balanced Scorecard. Think of this as a report card for a business. If you only look at your final math grade, you don't know if you actually understand the subject, if you had good attendance, or if you participated in class. In the same way, Companies used to only look at money to see if they were successful, but that doesn't show the whole picture. The balance scorecard is balanced because it looks at multiple areas of the business. It helps an organization do four main things. First, clearly communicate what they want to achieve. Second, make sure everyone's day to day work actually aligns with the company's big strategy. Third, figure out which projects and products should be prioritized. And finally, measure and track their progress to make sure they are shifting their targets. So, what are these different areas we measure? We call them the four legs of the balance scorecard. Think of a four legged stool. If one leg's broken, the whole stool topples over. Let's look at the first two legs on this slide. As you can see, leg 1 is learning and growth. This is all about the people in the company. Are we training our employees? Do they have the knowledge and tools they need? If our employees are learning and growing, they will perform better, giving the company a massive advantage over competitors. Leg 2 is business processes. This is all about how things run behind the scenes. How are we actually making our products? We look closely at operational management to track and eliminate gaps, delays, bottlenecks, shortages, and waste. In simple words, we want to make sure things run as smoothly and quickly as possible without wasting time or money. Now, let's look at the remaining two legs of the balance scorecard, which focus on our customers and our finances. Leg 3 is the customer perspective. This is simple. How do our customers see us? Are they happy? To find out, we measure things like our product quality, pricing, and how easy it is to buy our goods. If customers gives us feedback that their needs aren't being met, we know we have to fix something immediately. Leg 4 is the financial perspective. At the end of the day, a business still needs to survive financially. Here, we track the actual numbers, like sales, expenditures, and net income. We use financial metrics like budget targets to ensure we are making enough money to stay open and grow. By looking at all four legs, people, internal processes, customers, and money, the company stays perfectly balanced. Now, let's jump into an exciting tool used by traders in the stock market, the technical analysis. Simply put, a technical analysis is like weather forecasting but for the stock market. Instead of looking at the wind and clouds, we crunch numbers like past prices and the volume of stocks traded to predict where the price is going next. To do this, technical analysts rely on three very simple rules, or assumptions. Market action discounts everything. This means that everything from company news, political events, to rumors is already baked into the current price of the stock. You don't need to read every news article, just look at the price, it tells the whole story. To do this, technical analysts rely on three very simple rules or assumptions. First, market action discounts everything. This means that everything from company news, political events, to rumors is already baked into the current price of the stock. You don't need to read every news article, just look at the price and it tells the whole story. Second, prices move in trends. Stock prices don't just bounce around completely randomly. They tend to move in general directions, or trends, either up, down, or sideways, like waves in the ocean. Lastly, history repeats itself. Humans are predictable. When investors see certain patterns on a stock chart, they tend to react the exact same way they did in the past. Because people react the same way, we can use history to predict the future. So, how do analysts actually put technical analysis into action? They use three main methods. First is price analysis. This is simply looking at the price charts to see where the price has been and where it is heading. Second is pattern recognition. Analysts look for specific lines on a chart. Two famous ones are support and resistance. Think of support as a floor that keeps the price from falling further, and resistance as a ceiling that the price struggles to break through. Finding this helps predict when the price might bounce or break out. Third are basic chart patterns. We categorize these patterns into three types. Number one, reversal patterns. Clues that the price is about to change direction, like stop going up and start going down. Number two, continuation patterns. Clues that the price is just taking a quick break and will keep going in the same direction. Number three, consolidation patterns. Clues that the price is moving sideways, staying in a tight range before making its next big move. To wrap things up, let's look at what these trends and charts actually look like in real life. On the left, we have a bearish trend. In the stock market, a bear market means prices are going down. An easy way to remember this is that a bear attacks by swiping its paws downward. You can see the trend line pointing down. On the right, we have a bullish trend. A bull market means prices are going up. Think of a bull attacking by thrusting its horns up into the air. Here, the trend line is pointing upward. Analysts look for specific shapes in these trends that have funny but accurate names, like head and shoulders, cup and handle, or flagged and pennant. They look exactly like their names on a graph. Finally, we can draw these charts in different styles depending on what details we want to see. The four primary types of charts are line charts, which are simple and clean, bar charts and candlestick charts, which shows the high, low, opening and closing prices of the day, and point and figure charts, which focuses purely on price changes and ignore time. And that brings us to the end of our presentation. By understanding both what happens inside the business and what happens outside in the market, companies and investors can make much smarter decisions. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation, and we hope you learned a lot today. Stay safe, everyone!